Okay, there it goes, finally. Alright. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here I am with another update video. Or at least the first update video I've done in a while. Sorry for, staring at the camera there, by the way. Thing's been acting finicky for a while. I'm thinking it's like a driver problem or something with this thing, because it, glitches and then delays for a minute before it actually starts recording anything. Which, oddly enough, it doesn't out of sync or desync the audio and video, so I guess it's just a driver problem with the USB port it's plugged into or whatever. And also, speaking of cameras and problems, originally I wanted to do this video as a walk and talk, but the phone battery has been so disappointing lately I can't even do those either. Like after about 10 minutes of recording, the thing dies, and then it doesn't even save what I recorded to disk, so it loses all the video that I just previously recorded. And you know that if you're passionate about a subject, you can say a lot on it in 10 minutes. And it's a real pain in the ass to have to do that over again. So yeah, and it really sucks too, because I found a badass trail in the woods back there, about a quarter mile deep in the woods. It's absolutely beautiful. A beautiful hiking trail back in there. But yeah, I guess that'll have to just wait till another time, because it's not like my phone apparently wants to ever record back there. So yeah. Anyway, I'm getting the first important big update out of the way here. I might be doing a series of legal update videos in the very near future, because something that I really don't wish personally to be dealing with anymore has been kicked into my ball court again, and the only way I'm gonna fucking ever be able to be done dealing with it is if I deal with it now and just get it the fuck over with. And it's really fucking irritating, it's really fucking frustrating, but, you know, so is life. What can you do? So, basically, what do I mean by that? Well, a lot of you remember several months ago these videos of me being a complete asswipe, a complete shitbag to my fiance in a very deplorable manner got leaked to Repsion, and a stupid feud came out between us, and it's just really stupid drama bullshit. This doesn't have anything to do with Repsion. This has everything to do with the person that leaked those videos to him. A person named Joanna, who will not leave me alone. A person who has stalked me, harassed me, emotionally hurt me and my fiance and my family, namely my 80-plus-year-old grandparents, and has been nothing but a pain in my ass for over a year and a half. And it's just gotten to the point where things just have not stopped. This person has been calling my house back in Vegas, according to my grandpa, over and over and over again, asking to fucking leave a message for me, asking to get a hold of me, and he's just told her over and over again, I don't want to talk to you. Okay, I'm not a message taker. Alright, you got a problem with him, take it up with him yourself. And you know what, I understand why he would say that. You know. Now granted, I don't want to speak to this person ever again. They tried to cause a wedge between my fiance and I by telling me one story and her another story, giving us the impression that somebody was fucking around on someone. And this is a person that came into our life as a friend. Eventually this led to me really abusing alcohol, abusing drugs, and being a fucking complete fuck-up for a short period of my life, because I was so sick and tired of having people in my life that were like this, that would just take advantage of me and fuck me over. I almost lost my fucking fiance because of this useless piece of fucking oxygen thievery. But they still have not left me alone, and I'm done dealing with it. So basically, what's going on? Well, I called my grandfather about 2 weeks ago. Normal call. I ask him how the family's doing. And I make these calls all the time. I check up on him. You know, I ask how my dad's doing. I ask how my younger cousin's doing. I ask how my grandma's doing, and, you know. And then sometimes I'll call my ex-fiance and ask how things are going with her and the kid. You know, it's you know what basically happened between me and her, so it's not an easy situation on that front. But I do what I can to stay in contact with people back there. Well, anyway, my grandfather, he tells me that I got a notice from the Department of Social Services and Welfare, and they need me to call a number, so he reads off the number to me. I write it down, and I call it after I get off the phone with him. And I thought it had something to do with my kid, my daughter. So, I'm more than happy to call. I'm like, what? Did a child support payment not go through? What could this be about? And that happens. Anybody that's paid child support, they understand that shit happens. So I call down and think, okay, maybe it didn't go through. Maybe it got lost to the mail or something. I got to rectify this. I call the number, and, I ask them about the case number or whatever that's on the notice. So, they transfer me over to a line where a completely different person picks up the phone, and this lady immediately right out of the gate asks me for my social security number. And that's the point where I go, whoa, 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 whoa. Why do you need my social security number? You haven't even told me who you are. They didn't even want to really tell me what the hell was going on. I had to coax it out of them. So after about 5 minutes of bantering back and forth, I caved, give my social security number. I don't even know why they needed it, because they obviously didn't need it to tell me information they had already pulled up on their computer. This psycho bitch has been claiming that I fucked her, knocked her up, and gave her a kid, and has been trying to extort child support payments out of me. I am done with this person. I don't do things like that to people. And this is an absolutely fucking ridiculous accusation that has pissed me off to my core. I'm upset enough that things went down the way they did between my ex-fiancée and my kid and I. I wish things could be different. To all you fucking cocksucker trolls out there that just oh, you're not a real dad, you're not a real dad, fuck you, fuck you cocksuckers, okay? I wish things could be goddamn different. And it infuriates me that some useless fucking oxygen thief is going to sit here and make a bogus accusation like this because they want to keep dragging my fucking name through the mud and keep dragging me the fuck down because I turned them down. And I tell the lady on the other end of the phone exactly everything that I've gone through with this person. Everything that my fiancé has gone through with this motherfucker. And my fiancé's in the room. Becky's in the same room as me. And basically the lady goes over the phone at one point and she's like, so were you guys dating or anything like that? And I go, no. And Becky goes, no. And she's like, who was that? That other person can't answer for you. And I tell the lady straight up, excuse me, are you supposed to be some kind of professional or something? Because if that was my lawyer, you would have been in a lot of goddamn trouble. And what do you mean nobody can answer for me? What do you mean no one can answer for me? Because my fiancé is as big of a part of this as I've been, because we've both been fucked over by this. So I'm going to start doing a series of fucking legal update videos as I go through the process of this kind of crap, because I want to show people exactly what kind of twisted motherfuckers there are out there that will lie their asses off and use legal process to their advantage, because this is ridiculous. I don't do things like this to people. I got fucked by family courts and stuff in regards to my only kid, to my daughter, and that really fucking stings in my ass every single fucking day. I have to live with that for the rest of my fucking life, that I'm not going to have the same kind of relationship with her that other parents get, and it really sucks. And here I have this motherfucker trying to take advantage of that, trying to do their own thing. I just saw pictures of this kid too, and it's ridiculous. They're Filipino and Hispanic, okay? I mean, they've got big fucking almond eyes and shit. Blue eyes. I don't even have blue eyes. I got brown as fuck eyes and shit. The kid doesn't even look anything like me. It doesn't look anything like, anyone I know either. So this is absolutely ridiculous. And to make matters worse, too, the lady on the other end of the phone, she brought up this whole bullshit I had to go through around the time that I first moved here. Some of the things that I've gone through this woman are insane. She tried to get a TPO placed against me. In Nevada, it doesn't really mean the same thing as it means in other states. It's basically a warning, just don't go near each other because you're going to cause problems for one another. Okay, so they had somebody come from the office that hands these things out, come try to serve it to me so I could sign it and all that other crap, and it'd be notarized under my name and shit to my house back in Las Vegas. This was after I moved. I'm living 3,000 miles away. So my granddad tells me that happened, and I go, when I called him, around the time I first started getting things set up around here, and I call him, and, he tells me that happened. So I call the number down for the office that was trying to get this, and the guy tells me, well, there were phone conversations and stuff that gave us, at least enough evidence to, suggest maybe this would be a good idea. And I'm like, what do you mean phone conversations? And I found out the woman had basically recorded every single fucking phone conversation that I had with her, that my fiance had with her, and any three-way calls that we all had together. And I explained to this guy, same as I explained to the lady that I had to call about all this on the phone, that that's without consent illegal. And I don't like when people try to tell me the law on this kind of crap. Because there is a kid, and I saw this in a news story, who almost went to fucking jail because he recorded on his iPad his bullies bullying him without their knowledge. When I tell this to the lady that I had to call from the social services bullcrap, she goes straight up and tells me, oh, she can do that. She doesn't need consent. And I'm like looking at the statute for my state that says she can't fucking do that without consent right on the screen. And I tell her, well, why does it say right here in your laws, in the actual law where it says she can't do that? And then she goes to me and says, oh, I don't want to get into that with you. And it's just like, this is ridiculous fucking stupid process here. People that don't know the law, don't know anything. Okay, you can't sit there and just take an out-of-context phone call and use that as a probable cause to try to put a restraining order on somebody who doesn't even live in the same fucking state. It's ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. And I'm so fed up with the fact that I still got to go through this kind of shit with this woman. I mean, I don't even know anything about her. I've never had sex with her. Ever. Ever. They didn't even want to hear that. They're like, well, we need to determine the paternity. And I'm like, well, fine. If you got to fucking sit here and harass me about that, I'll be happy to. I'm happy to jerk off in the fucking cup or do a blood test or whatever the fuck test you need me to do. Because this is ridiculous. You know, my fiance and I, we've gone through enough shit with this motherfucker, and they will not goddamn leave us alone. Not only have they broken the law and lied to a fucking court in order to get something placed against me, which never got placed against me in the first place, because the guy could never serve it. It was only good for 30 days and expired, even if it was put into motion fucking months ago. You know, I'm still dealing with this crap. And if this woman watches it, what the fuck is your problem? Leave me the fuck alone. You're goddamn fucking seriously messed up. You got a lot of issues here. And if anybody in your life gave a fucking shit about you enough, they'd help you sort these issues out. Stop dragging my life through the mud, okay? I'm trying to do my own thing. I'm trying to get things stabilized in my life. The last thing I need to do is sit here and fucking take care of a kid that isn't mine for near 20 goddamn years while I try to sit there and pretend I give a shit. And this is one of my biggest problems with things like child support, is when problems like this happen, where somebody's able to bullshit and weasel their way into getting it from somebody, that dad has to sit there, and he's not even really a dad, but that guy has to sit there and pretend he gives a fuck about this kid for years and fucking years and fucking years. How? How the fuck can somebody be a father to a kid that isn't there and pretend they give a shit? I'm telling you right now, I don't give a fuck. It's not my responsibility to give a fuck. If anything, the only thing I feel is bad for this kid that it's got a mother like this. You know? And I've seen pictures of this kid. You know, it's a fucking Filipino Hispanic baby with big almond eyes, fucking blue as fuck eyes, and black hair. And like olive, like really light olive tan skin. I'm like, do I look like that? You know? I'm fucking... And it's ridiculous. The whole fucking thing is absolutely ridiculous. I've dealt with some crazy shit from people in my life, but this is fucking stupid. It is absolutely stupid. You know, and I dealt with a little bit of this kind of bullshit, you know, from my ex-fiance. We had our back and forth and shit. But, you know, I knew that kid was mine. Because I helped fucking create her. You know? There was no issue that came up like this. It was just a big bunch of bullshit in courts and people, you know, kind of taking advantage of both my ex-fiance and myself. In retrospect, at least that's how I feel about it now. You know, this whole thing between this Janet chick and it's just completely different. It's absolutely stupid. So I'm going to do these update videos as I go through this process because I want people that are, if they're going through something like this themselves, they know at least what to expect. You know, or people that are just curious about like how people can really lie their asses off and then just totally fuck over other people. You know, what did people go through in these things? Because this is ridiculous. It's been a year and a half. Leave me the fuck alone. You know, leave me the fuck alone. And seriously, you know, after this is all said and done, I'm still considering suing her ass. Because I have one hell of a goddamn case. I mean, I've got harassment, I've got stalking. I mean, she came up to my damn door, started pounding on the door and screaming at my goddamn grandmother who's in her mid-80s. You know, at the time, she had 2 broken hips and was walking around the house on a walker. She had, like, chronic sinus headaches and chronic fucking back pains and stuff because she's got scoliosis so bad. It's one of the reasons she had to have hip replacements because her back is so curved. She can't even properly walk and balance and stuff. Well, now she's bedridden. I guess I can get into this update. Well, now my grandma's basically in hospice care in her home, you know, with my grandpa. She's been in the hospital on and off basically for the last couple of months. And she'd just gotten out of hospice care. She'd been in an actual hospice for about 3 weeks. And I'm really starting to think that this is nearing the final stages of her life, you know, the last few years. And it pains me to say that because my grandma, I love her to death. And, you know, she's had ulceration problems for years. One of the reasons that she keeps going to the hospital so much is because she's had ulceration problems for years and years and years. And I think it's really to do with the medications that she's been on. Like I said, she's got massive scoliosis in her back, so that causes lots of chronic back pain. She's got massive sinus headaches and migraines, so she takes painkillers for both her back and her headaches and stuff. And, you know, I mean, she's not on light stuff. She's on Oxy, she's been on Percocet, she's been on, like, actual morphine pills before. And, you know, I mean, that stuff is incredibly taxing on your system, on your body. It knocks out the pain and makes her life bearable, but, you know, the cost of it is it's been eating holes in her stomach, and it's been eating holes in her gastrointestinals and stuff like that. And, you know, for the longest time, my grandpa was like, well, she used to drink a lot of soda and stuff. And I'm like, Grandpa, soda doesn't have shit to do with this. It's the medication that she's on. It's too heavy. But, and she was on acetaminophen, too, and ibuprofen for a while. And I think that initially is what started it. Because when I was about 13 years old, I was visiting with my parents. They had me for visitation that weekend. And I was staying the night over because they were allowed to do that. And I get basically my dad gets a call and he goes shooting out of the room all upset, and he's out of it because that's his mother. And then my dad's buddy comes in and he basically tells me what's going on because I was wondering why my dad was wigging out so upset. Basically, my grandma had been vomiting blood that whole day, and I didn't know about it because, you know, my grandpa dropped me off. He came home to this, and if he hadn't basically rushed her to the hospital, you know, the time he did, she would have died. She would have died right then and there. And, it, you know, I mean, she's been on and off facing these kind of problems. You know, she'll start throwing up a little bit of blood, and then it'll just be more and more, and then they've got to go in and cauterize these things shut. So basically that's what she's been in the hospital on and off for, and now she's in home hospice care, which basically you know, they had to take the bed out of her bedroom, and it's sitting in the bed of my grandpa's truck right now. So is that fucking mattress, you know. And they put in a hospital bed in her bedroom for her, and she's got nurses that come in different rotation, you know, over the course of the day. And my grandpa and my aunt are helping out in my absence, you know, to take care of her. So I mean, that's how serious things are. She's in the comfort of her own home. You know, at least she's not eating gross processed hospital food and stuff, and she's got a lot better of a channel selection, you know, because I remember when I was laid up in the hospital, you only get like 10 channels of nothing. You know, if you're lucky, you get Cartoon Network, you know, and you sleep through the day, wake up at night, so you get Adult Swim, and hope to God something worth its while, you know, on. I don't know. You know, I guess I should have, when I was in the hospital, should have requested for the Toonami channel, but they don't have one because the world sucks. But she's in the comfort of her own home now, and she's feeling better than she was when she was in the hospital. Her spirits are a lot better now that she's with her husband and with her family, and, you know, she's home, but that's just a lot to intake. And on top of everything that I just went and I talked about, everything that I just said, I mean, it's such a nerve-wracking experience because, you know, my grandma's basically on her last legs. You know, these are probably the last few years of her life. And I have to deal with this psycho completely morally bankrupt motherfucker calling and harassing my family, you know, and they blocked her number like 4 or 5 times. It didn't goddamn matter. It didn't fucking matter. She still keeps calling, you know. And they have to deal with all that kind of shit. And it's just irritating. And now the fucking having to deal with these bogus accusations on top of all of this. And it's been driving me up the wall. I guess the best thing to happen to me recently was the whole GFW thing, the rave event that I DJ'd at, because at least over those 2 days I could finally take my fucking mind off it. I could just completely forget about all that kind of crap. And it's not like I don't care about what happens to my grandmother. That's not what I'm saying. But I could at least, you know, lift the pauldrons of stress off my shoulders and put them aside for a little bit. And, you know, just let go of a lot of that, because I guess the best way to explain how I live my life is it's like living with an anvil constantly on your head and always having to be alert of when that thing might fall and crush your ass so you can get the fuck out of the way. You know, that's just how life feels for me. And it's not a fun way to live, but it's how I've learned to live, and it's just, you know, how I continue to live now these days too. I got people back in Vegas that think I moved because they think this bogus accusation this chick is firing out was true. And I'm like, fuck that shit. I moved because I love my fiance and I want to be with her. I moved because I had stupid fucking idiot friends that were more than willing to try to fuck up my relationship so I'd stay in Vegas, in a fucking city that I hated, with somebody I barely knew and hated even more than I hated the city I was living in. You know, I had nothing left there. And now I've got good friends, and you know, now I'm having a lot better times, and I'm doing the things that I want to do, and it's just so sickening. I lost people that I care about over this crap. Well, I used to care about anyway. Now I don't give a fuck. They're dead to me now, but I lost so goddamn much. And I guess that's one of the things I'm starting to learn about life, is that loss is such a huge linchpin of life. It really is. Like, loss is such an integral thing about life. Like, and I don't mean loss in the sense of mortality, but loss in the sense that, you know, you lose a lot. You lose friends, you lose family, and even in a more domesticated sense, where maybe they just, you know, bail on you and flake on you and you never hear from them again, but you still lose that. You lose people even mortally, you know, friends die, family dies, and for me, I haven't experienced too much death in my life. My mom's mom died when I was real young, and she was like 89 years old, almost 90 years old. And then my mother passed away years after that. She passed away about 5-6 years ago. And, you know, that was still heavy for me. And it's mainly because I never came to terms with it. I don't know how to. I mean, when I had a relationship with my parents, it was like, well, these are the people that created you, and with my grandparents, these are the people that take care of you, house you, give you your food, give you your education, do all these things for you, and in a way that, not lack of attachment, I guess, but that separation of attachment made it strange. Like, I was like, my mother died. The person who created me, basically brought me into this world, died. And for the longest time, I didn't know how I was supposed to feel about it. You know, when my grandma passing away, I guess I feel about it now the way most people would feel about their actual mother dying, because my grandma's been like the only mom I've ever had, in the sense of, the traditional sense of a mother, the person that protects you and guards you and cares for you and all that. Because my parents cared. I had such a fucking weird upbringing that it's hard to explain this shit, because I guess I never learned what the normal standard of upbringing would be. So this is all just real rough, and to go through all this kind of shit on top of all of it is just such a fucking nightmare. But I've learned that loss is such a part of life. And for me, it's not so much the mortal loss of things, but the physical loss of things. Like, I lost so many friends back in Vegas after losing so many already when my ex-fiance and I separated. You know, I had nothing. And then after a while, I had those people that I knew from the various groups of people that I met after, you know, things kind of fell apart for me the first time. Well, things fell apart for me again, and I lose all these people, but then I learn from the experience they're maybe better off without them because they're not the kind of people I need in my life anyway. If I'm only in their life to make them more popular by comparison, because they have a lot of people in their lives at that point, and they think they're hot shit because they know so many fucking people, then I'm better off without them, because then that means that they don't give a shit. They don't legitimately goddamn care. You know, and I'm better off without people like that. I mean, I lost about 7 years worth of my life, you know, in losing all those people. But in a way, it's tenured and matured me away from ever going around people like that again, or ever becoming too serious about making, you know, emotional connections with them. Because one of them was like a sister to me, and it really hurt. You know, watch somebody just flake on me all the time, and I'm going through like my worst depressions and stuff. Somebody that I thought I could relate to, it just doesn't even give a crap, and then eventually just buys somebody's bullshit story over what I try to tell them, and then completely bails on me. You know, that hurts. But at the same time, it's kind of a learning experience. It teaches me that I'm better off without people, and I should never have probably tried to use them as the crutch to fix my problems. I'm better off without people that are that exploitative, really. Anyway, you know, that's really what's been going on for me. And it's a rough patch for me, but like I said, I may be doing update videos on that kind of stuff. Because I really want to show other people what it's like to go through this kind of stuff. And it's not fun, trust me. I don't want to be like extreme drama, you know, no. But I guess really on this channel, I want to open up as much as I can with you people. I mean, you know, I don't really have much of a reason to hide anything anymore. I don't have a reason to do like vague booking on fucking YouTube, as it were. And this is just some bullshit that I think people need to know about. It's incredible. It's fucking crazy and it's insane. And I just really don't want to be dealing with it. But really, when you go through things like this, the only way to get done with dealing with them is to deal with them and get it over with. So begins the next chapter in my really strange, fucking odd life. Anyway, I hope this video wasn't too depressing. It was just an update video and, you know, me spilling my guts out on camera again. So, hooray! Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. So, until my next little update video, take it easy. I'm some guy on the internet, and so are you. Until next time.